Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Monday.
I think everybody, mainly in America, but largely outside of there as well. I definitely think the world is kind of going, what? America, what? What a crazy twist in the latest episode in the season of America with Joe Biden yesterday announcing that he's going to be dropping out. I mean, this is kind of something that happened so quick that you kind of wonder if he knew when the decision was made, because they at first were talking, no, never going to happen. It's just going to be Biden versus Trump on the ballots. That's what's going to be happening. That's really the battle that's going to be going down before too long. But then a lot of people saying, well, don't know if he's fit. There's the performance at the debates that was not so great. There's been people coming out of the woodworks to say, yeah, I talked to him and he didn't even really recognize me, or the conversation didn't go well. And then Biden even saying, well, I would only really step down if there was going to be, a doctor's recommendation or a condition or a diagnosis of some kind. And then even without saying that there was any kind of diagnosis, yesterday still just comes out anyway. And then endorsing Kamala Harris, though that doesn't mean that she immediately goes on a ticket. That has to, then be voted on or, decided in some way in the near future. But still, more to come on this, I guess. And we now learn that this whole time, he was just biding his time. I'm sorry, okay? I had to. Dredging up the past from 2005 when it comes to the Osbournes, Sharon giving a statement about the run-in that they had with the frontman of Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson, back in 2005 on the Ozfest tour. Apparently, Iron Maiden were forced to exit a little bit early. They had unruly audiences throwing eggs and other objects while they were performing, while they tried to keep the show going, and Sharon herself apparently came on stage and said that the frontman had disrespected the festival while they were on the road touring, and as a result, that's pretty much put the nail in the coffin for Iron Maiden participating any further. It's been just a point of contention since, I guess, and for some reason, they're dredging it back up again. It's a quote that has been catching people's eyes and ears. Sharon saying, when you've got a singer that is so eaten up with jealousy for the headliner, it never goes well. The headliner, of course, being Ozzy himself. There is some news about maybe some new news coming for the Spinal Tap sequel. Director Rob Reiner is teasing at a release date, though we don't actually have one. Deadline interview has said that progress is going well. It's going good. The first screening for family and friends will probably be in August. Distributors might be seeing it in September, and maybe a late spring or early summer next year is when we'll actually see a release date to finally catch this movie so many years after it was originally envisioned and caught all of our attention and laughter. It's Hammock Day, so speaking of down to earth, it's a day to get a little bit lifted off of it. Swinging in this, admittedly for today, once again, smoky warm breeze, but Hammock Day, that sounds fun. Another one of the made-up holidays, technically. They all are. But we do have a hammock. We have a pretty simple one that we kind of take camping with us sometimes, but often you don't find like the ideal spot right at your campsite to string up a hammock. I feel like this should be more of a common thing. There should be more accommodating areas to be able to either just jump into a hammock that's just there already. Then you go to a resort and they've got the lineup of them on the beach. How great is that? Or just a place where you can string up your own pretty easily. We don't have enough hammocks in our lives these days, and Hammock Day is a day to remember that.
Tuesday.
What does the algorithm think that I want today? Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's way off base, but in any case, it is aggressive. Every single time I made the mistake of clicking into one video of someone making a full gourmet meal, from scratch on the top of a cliff, bringing some fine dining to the concept of roughing it, and probably selling knives as well. That's probably really what it is. If you click the affiliate links, check out all the knives that they've got for sale for you. Very cool ones that will make you look like you're more important than you are. That's how they sell them, I think. But now it's all I can see on Instagram and on Facebook Reels. Constant people going out into nature just to make delicious looking meals. Admittedly, every single time, mouth-watering. So, it's fantastic. I'm constantly hungry now. Thanks for that.
Great. Now I'm starving.
quick music news headlines for you. Just got a couple stories. Josh Homme has got good news for Queens of the Stone Age fans. You're not going to have to wait as long as you did last time. There was a 6-year gap between Villains from 2017 and then last year's In Time's New Roman drop. And he was just talking to Music News saying there was too much time between the last record and this one. The goal is to make things and enjoy that process. And so I'm going to roll up my sleeves and jump right into this. Of course, that doesn't give us any official timeline, but probably not 6 years. And sad news, as the last surviving member of the Four Tops has passed away at the age of 88, Duke Fakir. He died. He was part of the Four Tops, who were very well known, big Motown singles like I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch, or Reach Out, I'll Be There, or Standing in the Shadows of Love. He will be missed. He passed away in his home in Detroit from heart failure, which his family confirmed to the Detroit Free Press.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
Beautiful journey across Canada, possibly for a lobster, not a real one. Lobster Quest from east to west. I was just shown this by my partner because it's exploding on TikTok just a little bit, but the story goes that a lobster trap with a toy lobster within it couldn't travel with its owners from the East Coast all the way to Alberta. It's hopefully traveling from PEI all the way to Alberta to rejoin its retiree owners. That's Karen and Chris. But it's been slow going. They've been relying on the kindness of strangers, and it has worked as far as jumping across to the mainland. The journey began in April, and so far it has made it a little bit further to the west, into Shediac, New Brunswick, apparently. Only fitting, as it is known as the lobster capital of the world and hosts a lobster festival every July. Perfect timing, but that's still maritime, and the destination is the prairies. Only a matter of time before this little lobster trap finds somebody traveling cross-country Canada and finds its way all the way back here to Alberta. I want to see this journey to its end, although, not with my own vehicle, because I am here in Alberta already, but hopefully somebody picks this thing up soon.
Wednesday.
Members of Team Canada's women's soccer segment dismissed from the Olympics before they really truly start because of the big D word. Nope. Not drugs. Drones. Drone espionage. The New Zealand Olympic Committee reported to police in Paris that they were being spied on during practices on the 19th of July as well as on the 22nd of July. It turns out a bit of a conspiracy with at least 2 members, not any of the athletes patently aware, but an analyst, uncredited analyst with Canada Soccer named Joseph Lombardi, as well as the assistant coach for Team Canada's women's soccer team, Jasmine Mander. They both got sent home. The Canadian Olympic Committee said, yeah, get out of there, come on back to home soil. And then, following that, the head coach, Bev Priestman, said she's going to go too. She voluntarily recused herself, saying that she's responsible. If she wasn't involved from the start, gotta be pretty upset about that. Not drugs messing up things for Team Canada. Drones. We live in a weird age. Guns N' Roses' Duff McKagan, ever the brain trust, has got some interesting thoughts on AI as it pertains to art. He was just talking to Classic Rock magazine and isn't as opposed as some other artists certainly are. There's been, vehement pushback against that moving into certain spaces. It's already been seen to be affecting the music industry, the visual art industry, the film industry, the video game industry, and beyond. It's everywhere. But he does say, as far as music goes for a rock band like Guns N' Roses, it doesn't really apply. I don't think it could. Nothing better than sitting down and writing a song on acoustic guitar. But he does say that AI art on Instagram, he's been shared by fans, some Guns N' Roses art, and he says his skin always looks amazing in it. I like this AI. My hair, that coat, I wish I had that coat. Very shallow approach to it, but in all fairness, he does go on to say that he doesn't know enough about it, and as far as it applies to music, he just doesn't see it. A Prince documentary that has been in the works for 4 years may never see the light of day. Fans should probably hold their breath no longer, because it's been called Dead in the Water. There's been multiple disputes. It's a Netflix documentary that was supposed to be coming out already, but according to a report by Variety, the director Ezra Edelman, who made the O.J. Made in America documentary, put together something that the executives and the estate behind the holdings for Prince's material, Prince's intellectual property, said, no, it's not good. It's not going to do it. It also ended up being 9 hours as opposed to the order for 6 hours, which apparently also violates the initial agreement for, I don't know, some reason. Maybe it would be better to me 9 hours of footage, but who knows? I guess we may never see what it actually looks like.
Hey Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
Some live music that's coming to our neck of the woods in the nearish future. Our very own Jordan got to have a chat on the phone with Chris Andrews of Shanneygannnock.
Joining me on the phone this morning all the way from Logie Bay, Newfoundland and Labrador, the lead singer, the big head honcho of Shanneygannnock, Chris Andrews. What's happening, buddy?
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good, buddy. Good, buddy. I know you're not the only part of Shanneygannnock, but you're one of the most important parts, right?
Myself and Mark have been at the helm for a long time now, but we got a great crew of others that travel and be with us, and we're very lucky to have them.
Speaking of Mark, what's he been up to lately? I know he's doing a lot of tour boat captaining, I guess.
Yeah, well, our schedules are, pretty good these days. We only tour at certain times of the year, so we're home mostly all summer. And he loves the water, and so on the weekdays when we're not touring, he's back at the tour boats, loving it.
It's a bit of fun for him. I'm always seeing him posting on Facebook. He's having a grand time with it.
He loves it.
So what have you been up to, man?
We are flat out, things are good, boy, same old, playing shows and having fun, and people having fun, and, spreading Newfoundland music and culture all around the place. So it's a real pleasure to be able to do that after 30 years, this being our 30-year anniversary.
Almost longer than I've been alive.
We got more to go yet. Lots more to go yet.
Speaking of having something on the go, you're coming up to Fort McMurray.
We are coming back to Fort McMurray and looking forward to it in September. We'll be coming back with our good friend Mr. Bud Davidge in tow also to do some shows at the casino.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah, you're coming to Rivers Casino the 18th and 19th of September. I was going to ask you if you're going to bring Bud with you again.
Bud is coming again. He had such a good time the last time. He wanted to come again, so we said sure thing.
Well, that's deadly, buddy. That's going to be lots of fun. Tickets go on sale Thursday, July the 25th at the casino only at 9:30 a.m. Thanks to our friends at Live Star Entertainment and Rivers Casino. I'm looking forward to seeing you, buddy.
Oh, excellent. Yes, look forward to seeing you, too. We're hoping everybody's going to come out and have some fun-filled nights. And, we'll be singing some new songs off our new album and doing, of course, all the old classics. And Bud will be doing his catalog. So it's a fun night, and we're looking forward to it. I think the last time up we did 3 nights. So hopefully we're going to start off with 2. But if those 2 go fast, we'll certainly add a 3rd night also.
Well, let's go for 5.
I don't think we can do 5, but we could do 4, maybe. Yeah. But as long as people are happy and they want to come, we'll try our best to be there.
Chris, do you have the full band coming up with this time? I know last time Paddy Moran couldn't make it. You got him coming up playing a little fiddle, a little boron?
Oh, yes. Well, the full band is always the same. It's, last time we were up was myself and Mark, of course, and Bud and Ian Chipman and Brad Tuff. And this time we'll have Patrick Moran coming along also on the fiddle and vocals. So,
going to have Paddy up there.
It'll be a great old night out. Yes, sir. He's been playing full-time with us now for a few years, but last tour we were on, he was unable to make the tour due to a prior commitment, so he'll be there this time.
Fantastic, buddy. Well, tickets are going on sale at the casino Thursday, July the 25th at 9:30 a.m. Get there. Get them sold out. And we want Fort McMurray to line up to go see the whole gang of Shanneygannnock at the casino coming up on September the 18th and 19th at Rivers Casino.
Yes,
I love it.
Sir, we will be there. We will be there.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris Andrews, buddy. You have a good one, and we'll see you in September.
Right on, sir. Sounds good.
Talking a little bit earlier about it, you might have seen the headlines. It's breaking news that a couple of members of not the athletes, but the team, management and everything for Team Canada's women's soccer team dismissed from the Olympics because of drones apparently spying on the New Zealand women's soccer team in 2 different instances. Not great. Well, the stories continue from the Olympics before they even begin. There's also an Olympic equestrian, Charlotte Dujardin, who just had to step out of the Paris Games after a video of her whipping a horse came to light. One which shows that the horse is in a state of distress and fear. Not good. Not that I've seen it, but doesn't sound great, and it has been reviewed. Super wonderful behavior. She's super remorseful. After the fact, of course, but I doubt it's apparent in the video. Anyway, people are shocked that a 3-time gold medalist could act in such a way. But as much skill as an equestrian event takes, and they do take a lot. We all know the horse won the gold medals. right? The Giants are just about done with their home games, and soon after that, of course, their season. But there's a little bit of a schedule change. So yesterday, they had to do game delay, a little bit too smoky, so they are making tonight a double header. First game, going to be 7 innings, as they're hosting the Edmonton Prospects. And it's going to be at 4 p.m., totally free to attend. No charge, courtesy of Fort McMurray Infinity Cleaners. And then Game 2, as regularly scheduled, kicking off at about 7 this evening. Regular admission for that one, but if you had a ticket to yesterday's game, you can use that ticket to get into tonight's game without having to worry too much about it. Again, 4 p.m. this afternoon, no charge game, as the Edmonton Giants are almost clearing through their home game schedule. So after the doubleheader today, on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday, they're hosting the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and that's going to be it. Last home game of the season, 2 p.m. on Sunday at Legacy Dodge Field. They've got several games after that. They've got some fight in them all the way into August, but not here at home, so don't miss the opportunity.
Thursday.
Deadpool and Wolverine, holy cow. It's been years since we've seen him on screen. It's been years since we've seen Wolverine on screen, a.k.a. Hugh Jackman. And, I mean, that was something we never thought we were going to see again after Logan came up. But tonight's the night. Well, technically, it opens officially tomorrow, but you got preview night tonight, and I'm definitely, absolutely, 1,000% going to be there. E-Talk just recently had, as they've been touring the nation and just doing a ton of press for the movie, had Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman on, and wanted to share a little piece of Canadiana with them. They had a message from some important Albertans.
I'm Chad Kruger. We're Nickelback, experts in navigating irrational hate in the face of tremendous success. And we have an important preemptive message for anyone even thinking of criticizing the film Deadpool and Wolverine or Ryan Reynolds. Here's the facts. The first 2 Deadpool movies have grossed over $1.5 billion at the box office, making it one of the most successful series in the genre, period. 2 Critics' Choice Awards,
4 MTV Movie Awards,
1 GLAAD Award, 1 People's Choice Award, 2 Teen Choice Awards,
including Best Hissy Fit,
2 Golden Globe nominations, and people were talking about Deadpool getting an Oscar. It didn't happen, but people were talking about it.
It didn't happen, but people are talking about it. I love it. Of course, Ryan Reynolds loved it as well, and it was a shocking experience, I think, for you.
I'm just still stuck the fact that you're actually cool in all these years. You're cool.
You had no idea.
I had no idea.
My daughter's around here somewhere. Let make sure she heard that.
Oh, my God.
Maximum effort. Let's bleep and go. Can't wait to watch this movie tonight. Some sad news that a pioneer in the genre of blues music from Britain, John Mayall, has died. He was set to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in October in person. It will be posthumous now at this point. Mick Fleetwood has made comments saying that John Mayall's death is like losing a musical father, and it was a guiding light to so many young English music players and different lyricists and musicians. And it's just an absolute devastating loss to the tapestry. Meanwhile, Jack White has leaned into the whole garage punk thing. He's placing a gig to basically raise funds in Nashville for a new sound system for his live music venue. I love the grassroots style of that. We need to put in something new to make the music sound better. Let's play a show. Let's raise some funds. His band is going to be playing at the American Legion Post 82 bar on Saturday. Unfortunately, no word if there's going to be anything recorded or anything live streamed onto the internet for the rest of us to enjoy.
Friday.
You don't have much more time to wait. As we were talking about 11 a.m., maybe a hair before, minutes before, is when the Olympic opening ceremonies officially begin. I mean, Schmimpic opening ceremonies officially begin. They broadcast rights in Canada are all on CBC, so that's where you got to go. I've never been an Olympic level athlete whatsoever, not even close. Most of us, I think, are in that segment of the population. But about the only Paris-related feat of strength and achievement that I'd like to take part in is a croissant-eating event. I know, stereotypically French, I get it, but still, they are delicious. And I think that would be a fun thing to watch, too. He's just finished with the butter round, now making great time through the chocolate round, but there's still the chocolate ganache and strawberry preserve round to come. And that is truly the proving grounds in this event. Come on, wouldn't that be a lot of fun? especially if you got to eat along to it. There's been some speculation about what if there was a one last run Black Sabbath reunion. Of course, an original lineup kind of situation with Ozzy. He is retired from touring himself as a solo artist, but kind of has been hinting, especially with the Osbournes podcast, about wanting one last kick at it, right? One last chance to reunite with people. Bill Ward was one of the ones who's been kind of mum on the situation. He's finally given some comment. Of course, he parted ways. It was not amicable. It was not a good split about 10 years ago. He said an unreasonable contract was one of the reasons that he would not be part of the reunion tour and then the End tour, which finished off in 2017 after being extended a bunch of times. Everybody else, Ozzy, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, have expressed interest. Well, now Bill Ward has said on Twitter that he's in for playing some of everyone's old favorites. Loved playing them then. I'd love to play them one last time. I'm not going to talk about my health publicly, except to say that it might be a factor. That he's pretty good for a 76-year-old. He's active musically every day. He does have a busy and gratifying life. And then he says, love you all the bleeping time, Bill. So, I mean, it's just a question mark of when at this point. I would say somebody's got to get that contract together.
Thanks for listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
The heck is polyamory? Oh, I see. It's just cheating. But when you don't really care or want to deal with it, so you just sort of tolerate it or ignore it, I guess, which is, that's why they put together tolerate and polyamory. That's the portmanteau. Honestly, sounds like a scenario it's probably more common than anyone wants to talk about. And there's no judgment here. Different strokes. Whatever. We've heard the term consensual non-monogamy, which feels like word vomit, which pretty much sounds clinical and just means you've got some form of hall pass in a relationship. At least some communication has happened, like an ounce. So that would make polyamorous relationships non-consensual non-monogamy, and that's just too many syllables. All right, that's too many. It's clearly too many syllables because it's an insurmountable obstacle for people. Because otherwise, if people didn't mind too many syllables, people would just be talking to their partners about stuff. What a concept. Deadpool and Wolverine, aka Deadpool 3. Third one really in that continuity, but also the first movie that has Deadpool and, Wolverine for that matter, in the MCU proper, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Question mark, I guess? It's all been so confusing, and I will say, to start off the spoiler-free Steve review, it still is kind of confusing what's going on across all the different timelines of this multiversal saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But this was just fun, and you don't need to have all of the other movies and shows in your brain whatsoever. You just need to go to this one and enjoy yourself. It is full of violence, ultra-violence. It is full of swearing. It is very funny. And I will say, it's not that innovative on the formula of the Deadpool movie. I felt like the first one was great, but they had something to prove. I feel like the second one was decent, but it was a bit of a victory lap, and some parts of it dragged, though some of the funniest moments are in that movie. And then the third one, having just come out, it's kind of more of the same, but you still really enjoy yourself anyway, and it's starring... Well, I'm only going to say the two because there are a lot of surprises in there. That is all I will say. A lot of surprises, but you know that you've got Ryan Reynolds' Canadian treasure, and you've got Australia's own Hugh Jackman, and they are really fun together. You can tell they're just real-life friends for so long. I believe they met when they made that X-Men Origins movie where he played that version of Deadpool that nobody really wants to speak of for the very first time, and they sewed his mouth shut because he talks too much. Well, he still talks too much, I can tell you that. But a lot of surprises, a lot of fun, a lot of incredible fight scenes and action, and a real chance to turn your brain off for a couple of hours, and that is a gift. So, if you're into it, go check out Deadpool and Wolverine. Again, I say of all the Deadpool movies, they're not for kids. But then again, when I was young, I watched a ton of stuff that wasn't for kids. So, we'll leave it to the parents to figure that out.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.